Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Brahma Mir Striparan Takare Banu Shashi Bhumisito Buddha Sha Guru Sha Shukra Shani Rahu Keteva Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Greetings and welcome to Cosmic Kev 100, your weekly astro video zine. I am Cosmic Kev. This episode is for Friday, July 15th through the 21st of July, 2022. Now, looking at the sky today, we would see a moon in the constellation of Capricorn, and the part of Capricorn that the moon is in, if you're looking, astronomically. This is not the Western astrology part, which is based on seasons, which so many people are shocked. Well, you'll start looking in the telescope and you'll figure it out. These things have all moved. So in the Vedic astrology of India, which is what I'm talking about in this particular thing, we would say that the moon is in a place where Capricorn and Aquarius meet each other. And so it's half Capricorn, half Aquarius, and this lunar mansion is known as Dynista. Now, Dynista is ruled by Mars, and Dynista is associated with music. One of the symbols is the drum of Shiva or the flute of Krishna. Now, both of these instruments, drums and flute, require that air would pass through it in order to make a sound. And there are also instruments that sound a lot better if there's other instruments accompanying it. I mean, yeah, we have drum solos and we have flute solos, but when you have drum and flute together, it sounds a lot better. If you have bass and drum, as a lot of people love, it sounds good. Or guitar playing in the background while there's flute, it sounds good. So one of the things about Dynista is it can be said to be like a lonely existence. It really brings on leadership abilities too, though. And so, I mean, it's sort of like, like a general or a captain. They're following things. Now, a lot of times things can be a little bit harsh too with this moon, and partly because of the Mars rulership. And both Capricorn and Aquarius are Saturn ruled signs, and Saturn does bring us our difficulties, shows us where we need to improve, rewards us for discipline and consistency. So that's what we would see as we're going through today. Now, once the moon moves on a little bit further, by tomorrow, the moon's going to be in Shatabishak Nakshatra of Aquarius, which really brings in some amazing enlightenment and good ideas and intelligence. But it also sometimes makes you want to just hang out by yourself. So in Western astrology, we've got ourselves a moon in Aquarius today. Tomorrow the moon will be in Pisces, and will be Sunday as well. So on and on it goes. And without any further ado, I'm going to give you, based on either sun sign, rising sign, or moon, you can do all three if you know all three, in the tropical zodiac. Here comes your horoscope, starting with you, Aries. So, greetings, Aries, and welcome to your horoscope. So, your Mars ruled sign. Mars is in Taurus right now, so things are more like, hey, let's chill out, let's chillax, let's enjoy more sensual things. I think sometimes when Mars is in the second house, you probably want spicy food, because Mars is sort of a spicy graha, a spicy planet. Mars stimulates independence. Second house also could be our lower jaw or our neck, and being careful with things like that. Being careful with your face. That's important as well. Sometimes I tell people, sell your tools if you need money while Mars goes through your second house. Second house is about money. Now, the sun's in Cancer. This is the last week that the sun's going to be in Cancer in the Western zodiac. And in fact, the sun actually moves into sidereal Cancer, or the Vedic Cancer, the Cancer of Jyotish, tomorrow. So Saturday. By Saturday, we've got, sun in Cancer in both systems. So the rest of this week, those last 6 days, is very, very Cancer. And the sun will be moving through the lunar mansion, eventually known as Pusha, which actually brings terrific benefits, good things. So good things are coming, and if you've had some frustrations, I just want you to know that there is improvements on the way. And I'm looking forward to those improvements. I hope that this forecast could be part of those improvements in your life. So for Aries, I just want to say, you've got Jupiter in the first house. That brings good fortune. It's bringing good people in your life. Pay attention to who those good people are. Sun's moving through your fourth house. The fourth house is about home, it's about our parents, it's about older adults, it's about fixed assets, it's about where we find our happiness. So this week, just think, what does happiness mean to you? And I say happiness is the most supreme wealth. If you can be happy with a little, it's much better than having a lot and being miserable. All right. Greetings, Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. Now, your key phrases I have. And Cancer's key phrase is I feel. And so this is about appreciating your own environment. I have a really good friend named Steve, and his sun sign is in Taurus in Western astrology. And he grew up in Butte County, in Chico, and he loves the environment here. He loves all the natural areas and is really familiar with them. He works really hard, but he takes people on trips on the river regularly, the Sacramento River, and has also organized other trips to lakes and special places in the local region. The third house is about local region. So right now, the sun is transiting through your third house. Third house is our friends, it's our siblings, it's our ability to write and communicate. It's also known as the library of the zodiac, where we keep all our information. And there's lots of information out there. And some information that was considered true at one time is not considered true in the future. And it's always important to be flexible. And it's also important to be able to apologize when misinformation has been given out, and to cite different sources of why you see what you see. And sometimes truth can be bought for money, and so you have to be aware of that as well, that sometimes there's economic factors that lead to misinformation, and the largest slaps, the wealthiest, are geniuses at this, and probably have been for years and years. You have Mars in the first house, so you're taking risks these days, and you're wanting to be involved in the community, but you may be leading now to pay more attention to your home life, your family life, be a little more grounded right now. And Venus moves into your third house this week. That's going to lighten things up a little bit too. It's going to make you more friendly. People in the neighborhood like you, they appreciate you. And pay attention to your dreams and your spiritual life. With Jupiter in your 12th house, there's a lot of expansion. There's a lot of intuition and spiritual knowledge that you could tap into right now. Greetings, Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope. So, what I'm seeing here today, for you personally, is we've been dealing with our values over the last few weeks. What we like. Is it money? Is it family? Is it the way we speak? Is it getting a new pair of glasses? Is it just having a good neck rub? All of these things come into being as the sun transits your second house. Now, Venus is moving into your second house, and Mercury's leaving your second house into the third house. So this Mercury going into the third house, Mercury going into Leo this week, it's really going to help you with your communication. It's giving you a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things in the environment to consider, And so that's something to look at as well. Another thing is, I think some of the difficulties that you went through in the last couple of years are going to have to be revisited, and are going to have to be looked at and paid attention to over the next 6 months, and that's because of Saturn going retrograde. You know, a lot of times when a planet goes retrograde, it's looking at that sign before it, and it can take on some of that energy, and so that's something to consider as well. You really want to be flowy in your work this week, and I mean, it might be a sort of a hard day, you know, Moon transiting Saturn yesterday, and you're just like dealing with your own personal crisis. It's okay. Seek compassion, have compassion for yourself, and hang out with like-minded people that are compassionate as well. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, happy birthday if you're a Cancer having a birthday this week. I kind of like the way the sun just stays in Cancer for the whole week, so that next week when I do this Friday, when the sun moves into Leo, it's just going to be like perfect timing. And all things Cancer, you know, now that Mercury is leaving your first house and your second house, it's making you a little more chatty. You've got a little more to talk about. It's going to help you economically. There's more money coming your way. There's financial help. This weekend, I mean, Saturday's going to be a better day for you. I mean, I think Thursday and Friday might have been a little bit rough, but I think by tomorrow you're going to feel this sense of relief, and you're going to get the kind of attention or adventure you want. You might even be leaving on a vacation or something Saturday, and I think it's going to go well. You know, that's because of that experience of the moon moving over into your 9th house. So that's going to help too with Neptune, and any kind of spiritual destination. If you're going to a retreat, a learning seminar, those are going to go extra well. If it's foreign travel, that's going to go extra well. So there's good things, you know, good things are on the horizon for you. And your social life looks really rich. I mean, you know, the whole Mars-Uranus North Node thing, we're still kind of trying to overcome what's going on, and it's just like, stay peaceful, you know. That's it. If there's fires, sometimes there's backburns that get out of control. You know, you just have to stay calm and create a different strategy that's better. Well, greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. There's going to be a real shift for you this week. I mean, I think even tomorrow, as the sun goes into sidereal Cancer, which is what most of you probably are anyhow, and I know a lot of you express your displeasure when you hear that, but it's like, hey, come on now. Come on now. There's many ways to look at things. And when we get so fixated on looking at things one way, we stop growing. We stop learning. Yeah, and I don't want to have that for myself. You know, being an older person, I realize just how much flexibility is important. Like, people that age the best are dancers. Dancing requires knowledge of both music and physical movement at the same time. That's the way to keep your mind in a good place. And I know Leo likes song and dance, for real. They're about that. So now with Mercury moving in your first house, this is like the beginning of less depression, more consciousness, and being able to communicate better, having a little bit more enlightenment, a little bit of this combination of spiritual knowledge and material knowledge. You know, your values get more aligned in order right now. And there may have been some, you know, hard things that affected you at the workplace. You know, it is still Sun transiting your 12th house along with Venus, and, you know, this could indicate loss of some type, you know, and so it's really important to give ourselves compassion when we're going through something. And, you know, you can't always be happy all the time, you know, and you can't always expect your friends to always be happy either. But I think when we have compassion towards each other, even in difficult times, we really ease it up for each other. and it helps us move forward and feel better. So always practice the compassion, and I think this week overall is going to be good for you. And just take it one step at a time and ask for help when you need it. Greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, it's like this. You have friends in high places that can help you. And this week we're kind of moving into our more introspective, getting ready for that 12th house transit, which can be loss, it can be difficulties, but it also could be a place where we really resolve things spiritually in our life. This is a time where we want to pay off our debts. And, since it's still the last week of 11th house, we'll say our friends, opening ourselves up to our friends and allowing them to help us and feeling the reward of those good people in our lives. Even our family, our karma with our families. I think we focus so much on career in this culture of the United States that we really forget the value of putting family first. We're all born for the most part, of a father and mother, and we often go through situations that can alienate those relationships, even with our siblings. And if we work on resolving them peacefully, it's going to create a better assurance. It's like, hey, I want us to just get along. I don't want you to see me just as an annoyance to you. Sometimes we just need to communicate that. And that I have good gifts I'd like to share with you. I'd like to help you with something if you needed help. Just being there for each other, whether maybe sometimes, your friends are your only family, and that's okay too. A lot of stuff this week for Virgo is going to be relationship, and so just pray together. That, you pray together for resolve. And before I was even in a committed relationship, I prayed for other couples that they would do good, because I felt like that's the Dharma. Whatever you want for yourself, help other people get it. That's how you make good karma for yourself. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. So everything, the last few weeks has been more oriented towards career, towards what your karma is in the public, how you work with that. And this week is really no exception to that rule. I think the fact that Venus is moving into your 10th house, a lot of your creative skills, a lot of your sense of aesthetics is going to improve, and it's going to be welcome in the workplace. So we're seeing your good qualities right now, and this is helping you move forward. Now Mercury moves into the 11th house, so when you're with groups of people, maybe take a little pad of pencil with you and paper and record good ideas, because I see good ideas coming. This is also a time where you can plan for the future. And it seems like your money is going to come your way. There's some monetary reward coming to you. There is, there's some intense conflict. I'm going to say that, too, that you've probably had to deal with that you're not in control over. So important not to blame others, but rather than blame, we look to others for help, ask for assistance. Just like Fred Rogers says, Mom, when things are bad, and they're hurting other people, what do? She said, look for the helpers. Look for the people helping in that situation. And I love that advice. It's so good. We all could use a little help from time to time, and Libra, you're no exception. Well, greetings, Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. Well, I know last weekend was all about you in a lot of ways, and you had a good time, and I'm so glad to know that. I appreciate you. And now we're in a place where we're working on our inner life, and there's sun's about, by the end of next week, when we get into next Friday, sun's going to be in Leo. So that's going to be a whole different game for Scorpio. That's going to be more your career life. And so this is more pleasurable learning and discovery. But you're about to take on more Dharma as far as who you are to the public. A lot of Scorpios are super introverts, and they don't like being in the public. They'll hide. But some of them are incredible leaders as well. I've heard at one point, like most of the presidents of the United States had sun signs in Scorpio. I found that fascinating to me. The only one I can think of right offhand is Teddy Roosevelt, but I guess Biden too. I don't want to make any comments on either one, because those opinions always get you in trouble, and there's always going to be somebody that's going to say something about something. You know. But seriously though, this moon is a lot more introspect for you today. Tomorrow, I think Saturday and Sunday, you're going to be in your heart. If you're visiting with your kids or hanging out with grandkids, that's going to be lovely. You're going to love that, and you're going to have a really good time. Partnership, relationship stuff. So things suddenly kind of change. Sometimes there's sudden shifts. But you know, you're a very intuitive person, and right now, since K2, the South Node's been passing through your first house, I imagine you sense what goes on in a partnership, in a relationship. So you're trying to work with that, with all these sudden shifts, you know, and it is not easy, folks. But you've got some good ideas. They're going to be acknowledged in the workplace. You'll share that. You'll work with that, and it's going to bring more love and joy eventually. All right. Well, greetings, Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so, you know, Jupiter's still in the 5th house. That's love. That's having your heart open. The moon today is in your 3rd house. That's information. That's the library of the zodiac. That's old friends. That's siblings. That's people we went to school with. A lot of times educators, people who are involved in the educational process, especially K through 12, but even undergrad, have things in the 3rd house. 3rd house, because, you know, education and information go together. 3rd house is also about working with your hands. And so you want to be able to do that. Well, that said, I think this is a good weekend for you to kind of stay home and ground out, or deal with family and family members, parents, older relatives. That's what I see in your future. I also see a lot of hard work and trying to get over the obstacles, work on good karma. Maybe you're working out, maybe you're trying to get in shape, maybe you're swimming, you're hiking, or, you know, a triathlete or martial artist, whatever it is. You know, this is a time where that kind of work would be like a lot more strenuous work. You know, it's been the last few weeks, 3.5 weeks, it's been more about other people's power than your own personally, but you're getting into more power, and part of it is you're able to let go of the things that upset you, so you can move forward with your dharma, with what your responsibility is. And you are brilliant, and that brilliance is going to make a difference to other people. So stay in the light, Sagittarius. Things are about to get a lot better for you, and they're not that bad. All right, greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. So last week I talked about how Capricorn's the opposite of Cancer. So Capricorn, whose key phrases I use and is considered to be about the nuts and bolts of the zodiac, utilitarian, grounded, practical, but motivated. It's a cardinal sign. You know, in a lot of ways we think of Capricorn as a sign of earthquakes, because cardinal signs are so motivated. I felt the earth move under my feet. That's a very Capricorn symbol, the mountain goat, you know, trying to reach the highest heights, sheer-footed. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of some of these mountain goats or seen them in person. They can be on like almost sheer walls that are like almost 180 degrees, and they're somehow able to maintain footing and use their gravity to keep it together. It's quite a feat, and that should be like a positive affirmation for you when you're going through situations where you feel like you're losing your footing. Saturn, you know, it's still in Aquarius in the 2nd house, but it's going towards the 1st house, so it's like there's some issues of finances that need to be looked at and maybe reassessed again. You know, and I know that with fuel prices being as high as they have been, it's been a real, it's been burdensome to probably at least 40% of the people in the United States are really suffering from this, and even businesses, people that were doing well, things have slowed down in a lot of ways, and so Everyone needs a little bit more support, a little bit more love, a little bit more carpooling, a little more bike riding, a little more public transit, and alternative ways of getting to where we need to go, doing what we need to do. Overall, though, there's peace in your home, and you've got some creative ideas that are very innovative that can open up your heart and help us get out of whatever mess we're in. All right. Greetings, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So we're getting in this place where, you know, Cancer time's a lot of work. There's obstacles. It's dealing with health issues. It's doing volunteer work, helping other people. Sometimes you have government work, and by next weekend, the weekend after this, Sun's going to be in Leo. It's going to be more about partnership and romance and being closer to other people. And there's still some of that. You know, with Mercury now in your 7th house, you're a little bit more of a sweet talker. You're a little more conscious about how you're communicating and how to communicate the right thing. With Mercury, with Venus and the Sun transiting your 6th house, you know, wearing a nice outfit, dressing up, you know, having, you know, if you get yourself in good physical shape, wearing less clothes and having attractive outfits looks good. It makes you look good. Or even just having an attractive outfit that's practical for the workplace. It's going to help you look better and promote you. You know, it can help you with your artha, your art of living skills, the making money thing. As we go through the week, you know, the moon, you know, once we get into Monday, Tuesday, you know, moon's going to conjoin Jupiter in your 2nd house, or your 3rd house, so it's going to bring about friendships from the past. Maybe you'll hear from a brother or sister, and there'll be some information, perhaps even some good news coming. Who couldn't use a little bit of good news? But, you know, just, you know, you stick your nose to the grindstone, do the work you need to do, and also do the work on your house and home that you need to do. That'll help everything flow better as well. Okay. Greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, if you're like a later born Pisces, like from the 15th through the 20th of March, this would be a really good week for you, you know, because the sun will be trining your sun sign, and you'll be feeling a lot of benefits. I think for any Pisces in general, it's going to be relatively beneficial week. So this is also a time for Pisces to travel, as the sun is in your 5th house. 5th house is a good house for travel. It's also a good house for seeing your children. If you have adult children and they've left home, maybe they'll visit you or you'll visit them. Or if you have grandchildren, that visit is good. Any creative projects you have to work on, I would put some effort, put something into them. It's going to help. I mean, Venus is in the 5th house, so that's going to be extra creatives, give you a little more creative juice. Even Mars, Uranus, and North Node in the 3rd house. There's some innovation, working with hands. You know, be careful if you're working with power tools and stuff. Wash your hands, you know, just be available. Money's coming in. Even things that were somewhat limiting to you, you're getting rid of the bad karma. The old karma, the stuff that wasn't working, you're getting rid of, and you're inviting a new karma. You're getting a new social life. You're transforming how you look at people, places, and things. And it's a little bit wonky this week because there really aren't any, there's a lot of space where planets aren't. So there's a lot of free reign between relationships, other people's property, your education, discovery life, your career life. All of those, there's openings, and there's ways for you to work with those things and improve those things. So thank you for being here. And I really want you to share this video, to like and subscribe. I'd like to have more subscribers here. I'd really like to get up to 10,000 subscribers eventually. I want a lot of people to learn about astrology. And, you know, and even though those tidbits I give of Vedic stuff, I want people to know about this, you know, that the cosmos is watching us, and we can watch it, and we can be friends with each other. And so thank you for your comments. I look forward to being with you next week when we do this again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat.